In this video, I'm going to introduce you to everything you'll need to know when it comes to getting started reloading. This is just the basics. The goal for this series will be twofold. First, understanding how to pick the right equipment, and second, understanding how each process is performed. If you're new, ask a question. I guarantee somebody else has the same question as well. For the folks that have been reloading for years, I encourage you to leave comments on the different videos with your experience and mistakes so the new guys aren't shy about admitting the mistakes and learning from them themselves. Please keep in mind that this reloading series is about loading your first few hundred rounds, not how to load your first 100 rounds to win an F-class match. You will largely learn faster by not complicating your process unnecessarily, especially when you're first starting out. I encourage you to start with a very simple baseline and then determine if a process is really adding anything besides time to your reloading process. On the surface, reloading is actually pretty easy. 4 ingredients: brass cases, either new or previously fired, primer, powder, and projectile. Get yourself a recipe book, otherwise known as a reloading manual, and you have about 90% of the information you're going to need to be successful. If you've already watched 100 videos on reloading and you may have yourself convinced that you need to anneal, deburr your flash holes, uniform your primer pockets, turn your case necks, maybe neck only sizing your brass is sounding like a good idea. If you've never reloaded anything before or are very new, I encourage you to skip all of those steps. It's absolutely possible to get better performance than factory offerings that you've probably been buying already without doing any of them. My first goal for a new reloader would be to create a safe load and convince yourself that when you fire it, it's just as safe as when you've been firing anything else that you've been buying. Just make a few, fire them, and this should be your biggest boost of confidence that you will be able to do this successfully. After you've done this, the sky is the limit, or maybe the first step down the rabbit hole. Where do you find all the stuff you need for reloading? Well, one of the options is our channel sponsor, Midway USA. When it comes to selection, they have all kinds of options from very basics all the way to some of the most premium equipment that you can buy. I hope that this series helps you figure out what the best options are for both your application and your budget. There are at least 2 ways to go about this, and I want you to pick the one that's best for you. I'm going to point to 2 different playlists, one that concentrates on the equipment that you might need, and the other that walks you through all the steps. If you're not sure, I encourage you to pick the steps playlist. I will certainly be talking about some of the equipment along the way, but it should help you figure out how each process is performed successfully. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stay safe in small groups.